Listen, yeah, time of virus, and normally we have our amazing hairdresser, Myra, come over and cut my hair, color and cut Colette's hair. But it's desperate times call for desperate measures, and Myra directed Colette. What did she say specifically?
I cannot be trusted to color my own hair.
Which is
true. I've never done an at-home dye myself. I've never let someone other than a professional do it. But here's the difference between me and my writing partner. One of the many. I have no problem with her doing this. Hey, Brooke, can I dye your hair?
Fuck no.
Right. Now, how's this? I like my hair much shorter than it is right now because of Corona. Hey, Brooke, when you're done this, do you want to cut my hair?
Hell no.
See, but I'd be happy to cut your hair.
No.
Yeah, see, I'm all yeses.
Yeah. It's, well, if you've seen...
I would let Doug cut my hair.
Colette...
You're a bad idea.
Yeah. Colette...
Let's go with drywall, not too good with hair.
Colette has more confidence than she does skill.
I mean, I've given up a lot, but I haven't given up completely. And I'm still in this universe and participating as a citizen. And maybe the next time I'm on Zoom, my hair will be a little cuter. Are you laughing?
A lot cuter. I'm wondering when we're going to talk about you in writing.
Oh,
but this whole is very interesting about your your hair color.
I don't think we're going to talk about. I could talk about my hair forever. My hair was red. My hair was blonde. I would love to be a redhead, but there's nothing worse than when brunettes dye their hair red and it's that awful magenta. Yeah, I have some really unfortunate pictures with that.
Okay, so Coco, about your writing.
When did I start writing?
Yes.
I will tell you. I wrote a play in 5th grade called An Archie Bunker Christmas. And it was for my entire 5th grade play. And one of the reasons I wanted to do it was so that I could play Sabrina in Charlie's Angels, because I was convinced when I was doing roller skating routines in my basement that in Baltimore that Aaron Spelling was going to come to my house and say, you would be perfect as Sabrina's younger sister in Charlie's Angels. So that's when I started writing. I've always been a writer. Every single person who's watching this has always been a writer. It's just when you embrace it and dive into it. And I moved to LA to be an actress. And I joined a theater company, which most young actors do, and it's a great theater company. It's called, it used to be called Circus Theatricals, now it's called New American Theater, and there was a 10-minute play competition, and I was on the reading committee, and I was reading all these plays, and I had the aha moment that, fuck, I can write better than this. So I wrote a play called First to the Egg, about a nerdy sperm who convinces his self-important egg that he's the one. And I submitted it under the name Naomi Lefkowitz, and it was the only...
Wait, why?
Because I was too embarrassed to submit it under Colette Freedman. I didn't want my peers to judge me, you know, like if it sucked, or it was fear. You know, so
Naomi Lefkowitz has such a...
Yeah, no one would guess that.
No one would guess that the one Jew in the company...
Herman Melville, Naomi Lefkowitz.
Yeah. So it was the only play that everyone loved, and I had to cop to the fact that, oh, I wrote it. And
how was that? How's your...
I said, oh, I wrote it.
I guess that's Naomi's voice.
That was Naomi's voice. Now she'd be like, oh, I wrote it. I'm so proud of it.
Nope.
So I did this play, First to the Egg, and I had been struggling as an actress in LA for 10 years, and got a couple of gigs here and there. Girlfriend number 6, Prisoner number 12.
Not in the same production.
No. You know, like one line on a TV show, yay. So anyway, so I wrote this play. It does really well. The theater company was like, hey, write another play for us. So I adapted Iphigenia and Alice and a Greek play, which I did in iambic pentameter because I'm a nerd. And then...
You are.
I know.
That's like Mac.
Iambic pentameter? No, it's like da 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 da.
Singy math.
Yeah. You can play the guitar. That's the closest I can do to music. And then with that same company, I decided to write a play for me and my 4 closest friends in the company, which was called Sister Cities. And that's where that started. My best friend Jill Gascoigne was a very famous actress in England and had her own TV series, The Gentle Touch and The Oneida Line, and said, "Darling, I never want to act again unless I play a corpse." So I was like, I'm going to write a play about a corpse. And my grandma had Alzheimer's at the time, and my mother kept asking me to kill her if she got Alzheimer's. So that's where great ideas come from. They come from all around us, but usually, they're prompted by people in your own life. So I knew I had to write a play about a mother who asks her daughter to kill her, and to get Jill in it about a corpse. So I wrote a play about these 4 strange sisters who come home, and there's a flashback scene in it where you see the mom asking the girl to kill her. And we workshopped it for 6 months, got it on its feet, and it was just going to be this kind of tiny little play in downtown LA at the Haworth Theater, and it ran for 6 months, and we took it to Edinburgh, it went to New York, and it's, I don't know because of Corona, but it's supposed to be in Avignon this summer, which will be the 33rd production of Sister Cities around the world. It's been translated into Italian and French. It's been done in Australia a bunch of times.
Was that your first published play?
Yeah. So it's been made into a movie. There's a great book. Big plug. I would love people to read the book because I'm super proud of the book. Brooke and I just finished The Last Bookstore, which will be out on Amazon. But other than The Last Bookstore, which is my new favorite book that I worked on, Sister Cities is probably my favorite book. Look, if you're in Los Angeles, everyone has a screenplay. Your Uber driver has a screenplay, probably 3. Your waiter has a screenplay. Not everyone has a play. And it's one of the great things about why Brooke and I gel so well together is we both started as playwrights. My manager at the time had a client called Michael Scott, who was still is a huge children's book author. He did The Secret Life of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel, and he was looking for a writing partner for some of his new books. And my manager gave him screenplay after screenplay after screenplay, and then finally he gave him the play Sister Cities, and Michael was like, I want to work with her. So a play stood out among all the screenplays. And then Michael and I wrote a bunch of books together, which was great. It introduced me to novels, which are a really fun medium, not nearly as lucrative as they used to be, but it's really nice not to have the stringent structure that you need in a screenplay or even in a play. In a novel, you can just kind of go off.
We wrote the screenplay for Bookstore and won a ridiculous amount of awards, all these screenplay contests, because we're like, well, we don't have an agent, we don't know what to do with this, so we would submit it to screenplay contests that had prize money. We kept entering Last Bookstore, the screenplay, in these contests, and it won everything. You know why? Because it's kick-ass. It's so excellent. And if you have someone who is connected to someone who can get a franchise done and make a shit ton of money, we're ready. We have everything ready to go with that screenplay. But we were so in love with it that we decided to write. Colette's like, hey, let's write the YA, because she had written a couple books, including Anomalies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Including Anomalies, which I just loved. It's a YA. And I said, okay, great. And I was ready to just plunge right in. And I had the hardest time. Like, is it subjective voice? Is it, I'm like...
It was Michael Scott who helped us. Do you remember
Was
that?
it?
Yep. Michael said, I told him we were struggling with it, and he said, switch off the chapters by each of the kids' voices. That was like, it unlocked something in Brooke, and she's like, Durr.
And now I want to live in that book. That book, we just had to reread it to go over it because we're sending it to the copy editor.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried and laughed through the whole thing like it was the first time. And I've been through this book, you guys, 1 billion times. It was so, writing it that way was so amazing. And I fell in love with all these characters again, just like you're going to when you read it. And then you can go see the movie when, some smart motherfucker picks it up, because it's just set to make $1 bazillion. Because now is the time for it. If you're a writer, to play with all the mediums, to play with screenwriting, to play with screenplay, to play with books, to play with short stories.
Especially if you have a good idea. Like, that's what I did with Sister Cities. It was a play. It's a film on Netflix. It's a book. So if you have a great idea, it will jump mediums, and it will work in all of them. It's pretty cool. Midlife Mutiny.
We're making better people.